Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight in our Calling City Hall. Pretty excited about tonight's program because we have got three incredible guests here. I've got with me our council president, Jim Johnston, which is always nice to have you with us. So thank you, Jim, for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's good to be here.
And even more important than that, we have with us Lance Clark and Stacy Van Kirk from our Parks and Recreation Department. We get to talk about winter activities, spring activities, recreation center. We just get to talk about a lot of fun activities and fun things for the community to be able to do. And so thank you, the two of you, for being with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Yep.
So we don't have a lot of snow, Lance, and without a lot of snow, how do you do, and what's going on with the Nordic Center?
You know, for as little as we've had in town, for the year thus far, the Nordic Center's been just above the snow line, and the skiing has been pretty good. We had a race Saturday, and it was successful.
The world famous Potato Cup race.
The Potato Cup.
Yes.
They did their thing, and everybody was happy, and you'd be surprised at how good the trails are. You know, you can't judge the Nordic trails based on your front yard snow load.
Why don't you describe the Nordic Trail a little bit more in terms of the number of miles and how you maintain it and some of those things?
So it's up the East Fork of Mint Creek,
Right.
kind of on your way to Scout Mountain. If you just head that direction, the signage is pretty good, and the gates are closed to everywhere else, so you'll end up there eventually. We have a base area with a 30-foot heated yurt. It's heated 7 days a week because we have school groups up there 5 days a week, and then we have rentals on the weekends. And it connects to about 20 kilometers of ski trail throughout the foothills there. Everything from beginner stuff next to the creek to advanced terrain up higher in the mountains. And we work very hard. We kind of baby those trails. We've poured quite a bit of grant money into them over the last 5 years to make sure they're all level and graded and smooth, and you know, you're not skiing across the side hill anymore, and there's no unexpected triple corners to put you into the trees. So the skiing is it's Olympic level at this point. The quality of the underlying trail, the grooming, it's good. We have, you know, the Olympics have a standard for how steep a course has to be, but how steep it can't be, and our trails, our main race course actually falls within the standards right now. So we have some of the Olympic team show up occasionally and do some of our courses and training and work out on our trails because it's just the right amount of challenging for them. But we do have easier stuff, of course, for families and beginners.
Tell me about that grooming. I just really find that to be fascinating.
Yeah, and you had the opportunity to vote on a grant for it the other day, too.
That's right.
You know, grooming is important to cross-country skiers. There's a couple different styles of cross-country skiing. You know, the older generation might think of shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. That's called classic. And for that, we actually have a piece of equipment. We have several pieces of equipment that go in and press perfect grooves for the skis into the trail, so that you can basically set your skis in the groove.
And you go.
Really?
They'll steer for you. They'll take care of it. You just have to shuffle forward. It's not too bad. And then, of course, the faster style is called skate skiing, but it requires about a 20-foot wide, smooth, corduroy wide surface. And you go more of a side-to-side, like an ice skating style. That's what you see more. The Olympic races are mostly freestyler skate now. And we groom for both 7 days a week. And so our trails are up to 35 feet wide. It's a road, a small road. You know, it's grass underneath, of course. It's not gravel or anything. And we have 3 pieces of equipment we use. Right now we have a Sherpa, which is like an oversized snowmobile that the Cross Country Ski Foundation purchased, maintains, and operates. So we have free grooming 3 to 4 nights a week, usually 4 nights a week. The club committed to that about 10 years ago when the finances weren't looking so great up at the area, and they have kind of kept their bargain over the long term, and provide about half the grooming services.
Wow.
It drags a machine that's about an implement that's about 8 feet wide. It's got metal teeth on an actuator that can go up and down, so that you can churn up the snow surface to make it softer. You can add weights to make it more firm, and it drags a special carpet that makes the corduroy shape in the snow. And it has an actuated arm with the track setter on it to press the grooves into the snow for classic skiing. And there's volunteers out there 3 to 4 nights a week making sure the snow is just the right firmness, and smoothing out any new snow. If it gets icy, they have the ability to go kind of chop it up and cut it up and reconstitute that surface. The city uses a gator, which is like a utility UTV. That's what you see a lot of the ice shoe maintenance guys driving around, little green oversized golf cart.
Yeah.
The city has one of those, and we drag the same type of implement that can change the snow surface. And then our big machine is a piston bully, a snowcat. What you think of if you can take an expedition to the North Pole, you hop in a big 13-foot wide, big tank track machine, and when the snow really comes down, it's got a 8-way actuated blade on the front to knock out drifts, to level drifting and snow and blowing, and its tiller is actually powered. It has a kind of a lawnmower type roller on the back that can make the snow more firm, more soft, or just process it a number of different ways to make the skiing optimal. And that hasn't been out a lot this season.
I bet it hasn't.
But when you get a big storm, it's the tool you have to use.
You probably used it a lot last year.
It went out a lot last year while it was running. Yeah.
Yeah, while it was running.
It's a little older than me at this point. The council just approved a grant to seek funding to replace it. It's about $150,000 for a 2-year used one. Wow. Brand new, they're about $350,000.
Oh my goodness.
Ours has served its life, and she sputters and smokes, and most of the time she starts. So we're hoping to get a new one, but the skiing has been remarkably good this year. A lot of skiers come up and just to check it out, and they're like, this is not bad. We build snow fencing to capture blowing snow, and then we push it onto the trails, and we make sure to utilize all our shaded areas, and we just scrape together what we have, and it's not too bad.
What does it cost someone to participate at the Nordic Center?
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. Kids are $4, adults are $9, seniors are $7 for a day pass. If you need to rent equipment, it's between $11 and $14 for the whole package. So maximum price, an adult for a full day with rental gear, is $23.
That's a pretty good.
That's a pretty reasonable outing.
That's right.
All things considered, and a kid's maximum price is $15 for the same deal. We have a number of lesson options and different ways to ski for a little less. In January, the first Saturday in January is our free day, free rentals, free lessons, free trail passes. We'll get a lot of big families on that day.
I'll bet you do. But we look outside right now and there's no snow in our front yards and stuff, but because of the way you've taken care of the trails in the past, you've got plenty of snow. I was up there at the race, and it's incredible. I mean, right now it is absolutely incredible, and you think you're in a different world because you've got plenty of snow, and the trails are nice. And
yeah, we're on the shady side of the mountain, so we don't get a ton of sun. The wind loads us up, and we make sure and take full advantage of that. We get a little drift, and we'll spread it out on the trail and make it right. And our volunteer corps from the Nordic Ski Foundation, those guys put in an incredible number of hours. They will go, if a spot of dirt develops, they will go up with a shovel and go find some snow, and they will cover that hole.
That's great.
Yeah, there's just a whole core of really dedicated people that keep it running. It's not super cost effective to pay somebody to go shovel snow onto a trail. But with a fleet of volunteers, it can really keep it nice. Because if you develop a hole and the sun comes out, it burns out pretty quick. So you stay on top of it, and it's good. And that's almost entirely volunteers. So
that's great.
One of the other things that I have wondered about is the school children participating. Could you describe how that program works?
Yeah, so it's an old program. Again, it predates me, and I'm starting to get, kind of towards the middle of the age range here.
He's hit about 23 or 4, and so he's really getting up there.
Really,
Since the 70s, fifth graders in Pocatello have come to Parks and Rec for a day of cross-country skiing on a field trip. And for about the last 10 years, we've included fourth graders as snowshoeing. So traditionally, as kids advance through the grade school system in the district, fourth graders will snowshoe, fifth graders will ski. So Monday through Friday, on an average week, we'll have a busload of kids, 9:30 show up, offload 2 classes at a time. They'll go through a program that lasts all day, and they'll head back home having experienced a little bit of winter activity. The kids pay $10. That covers the bus, the lesson, the rental, the trail pass, bottomless hot chocolate, of course, because that's mandatory to enjoyable Nordic ski field trip. The fourth graders go snowshoe all day. The fifth graders will ski all day.
And you have enough equipment up there to take care of them.
We have a lot of equipment. We have about 70 pairs of snowshoes right now. And we probably have about 100 pairs of Nordic skis and probably twice that many boots to make sure the sizes are right. We use our equipment pretty hard. We wear it out, and we replace about 20% of it every year, and just rotate it through and keep it going.
It's such a great program. And the cross-country or Nordic skiing, I guess I can't call it cross-country skiing. Somebody's going to get mad at me if I do that. So Nordic skiing is very reasonable. That's the thing. I was talking to some friends the other day, and we were talking downhill skiing or Nordic skiing, and Nordic skiing is more reasonable for a big family. It doesn't cost you $100 every time you want to ride up a chairlift with a person in the family. It's so it's reasonable. You get the equipment, and like you said, it's a few dollars to go up and enjoy it.
Yeah, both the equipment and the trail passes are just an order of magnitude cheaper. A full brand new alpine setup, and I love alpine skiing, but I'm about to be priced out of the market because you can spend $1,000 without going top of the line, and then per day, Sun Valley's like 120 something. Jackson Hole's $130 per person per day for a family of 5.
Yeah, it's tough.
You want to go to Jackson for a day? It's $800. That's real money to me.
It's not something just to not worry about.
Yeah, you want to come to the Nordic Center, it's.
Well, I think our recreation department, Parks and Recreation, has done so much to introduce people to new things, and this is an excellent example. The fourth and fifth graders probably developed some interest in some of the outdoor recreational opportunities because of that.
Yeah, I was a fifth grader in the ski program once at Ellis Elementary, and that was the first time I ever touched a ski in my life, and that was that.
That was that.
I was in.
Look at now. That was then. This is now. That's great.
Are there some other programs besides the Nordic that you want to talk about?
We have a lot of programs at the Recreation Center for youth, as well as adults, but we'll hit on some of the youth ones. We did start registration in January for our programs that are called winter spring programs. We have our swim lesson program. We're just finishing up first session. We'll be rolling into second session the day after President's Day. And we do have openings in some of those classes still. Not for the real little kids, like the 3 and 5-year-old preschoolers. Those fill up quickly because we take 4 kids per class to keep it safe and so that they get some instructor time. But some of our older classes, we still have space, so we encourage people to get on the website or to drop in and see what kind of swim lessons we can get their kids in. Our third session starts right after spring break. So for those that need something a little later, we still have a session there as well. And we teach even parent-taught swimming classes on Saturdays and Wednesdays, where moms and dads can get in with their babies and get some water exploration, introduce them. And swim lessons are what kids need to get into. We have drownings here in Idaho every year, and we need our kids to be water ready. And so we, highly push swim lessons.
Well, Stacy, I thought I heard you talk earlier about a lifeguard training. Mm-hmm. Describe what that's all about.
Well, we're gearing up to open up Ross Park in May, and to have enough employees, we have to really offer our own lifeguarding classes. So we just finished up one, which 10 new lifeguards will be coming out of. And then our biggest class will always be held in the spring, as people are starting to look at summer employment. So I highly encourage those kids out there, age 15 and older, that can swim, to consider becoming a lifeguard. It is a great a job for the summer. It works really well with schedules. And so that'll be starting April 4th. And what we encourage people to do is come in on Wednesday night, starting the 28th. We do what's called a pre-course, where they can come in and do the swimming that's required. So if someone hasn't been in the pool for a while, or they're not sure, we encourage those teenagers and adults to come and do the test and see if they can pass. And if they're struggling somewhere, we have them come back each week, and we kind of train them. So that they can pass the test. And the best part of that, it doesn't cost a thing. We do it to get people to get ready for the test, or to get ready for the course. So if they can pass it, they can join our course. It's $150, which is half of what you would find anywhere else that is offered. For the American Red Cross, we offer it for $150, because we look at those kids passing that class as our future employees, and we have an in-house trainer, making it that much better for us. So by the time we are usually done, we've trained between probably 20 to 25 future employees, and we usually need all of those people because of the fact that a lot of our staff will move on through college and need to move out, and we need to have new employees come in. So that's how we staff our pool every year. And it's a great job and opportunity. And it can be taken everywhere. The American Red Cross training, you can go to any state and find a lifeguarding job. So
it's pretty important. We've had a couple of our lifeguards that have actually saved a few people at our pool. And so it's good that you train them, and you train them as good as you do, and make sure that they really are certified, and they're not just a figurehead sitting up there on the thing with a whistle.
Yeah.
They do a great job, and so it's good to have them.
Yeah, we have a really stellar safety record at Ross Park, and we're going to keep it that way. We do weekly trainings, so that our goal is to recognize and prevent injuries before they happen. And we drill that into them and drill it into them every training, so that everyone will be safe.
Sure.
So.
Stacy, would you describe some of the other activities at the rec center and maybe how people can get involved?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we do that, if that's all right, Mr. President, I would like to have, I got that in there today. I would like to talk just a little bit about the swimming lessons and stuff. To me, that's one of the most important things you can do for your kids and for your family is get them and teach them how to swim.
Right.
So what does it take what do people need to do to get into swimming lessons?
Yeah, so you can actually register online. We have a great electronic, where you can get on your phone or your computer at home, and they can look at it at pocatello.us, and they can see all the classes that are available. Okay. It's $36 for 8 classes. So once again, cheap and affordable. Not really financial should not be a reason for someone not to participate. And also, it is a good time to bring up that if you are a Pocatello resident and have financial constraints, we do offer a fee waiver program. You can stop in the rec center and find out about that. So there's some parameters around that that qualify or not qualify someone
Sure.
based on income, but there's really no reason not to get your children into swim lessons. And so, yeah, get registered. I think a lot of times people think that somehow their kids are going to learn to swim without the lessons.
Yeah, well, they're in a bathtub every now
Yeah,
and again.
right.
That might help, you know.
And then, you know, the hard part is when the child's 11, 12, 13 and then realizes they want to go to a swim party or go somewhere and they're not ready. But for those type of situations, we hold private lessons. And so get in even on a private lesson where we can teach kids to swim faster.
That is very affordable, by the way.
yes.
The private lessons are not.
They're very reasonable.
They're
I
very
took
reasonable.
some.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of adults that don't know how to swim either, and so they're a little afraid of water, and so their kids are afraid of the water, and a big part of it is just getting over that fear of water. It's
Right.
to do it. You don't have to be an Olympic swimmer to save your life.
No, I do a lot of rafting and boating and kayaking and water sports, and I've always swam, but I wasn't that efficient. You know, I did a few triathlons and I realized there's a lot better swimmers out there than me.
Using a lot of energy here.
I'm an okay runner and biker, but when you get out of the water dead last, it's tough to catch up.
That's right.
And I took adult swim lessons, private lessons at the rec center. They were reasonable, and just to make myself more efficient. And I feel like if I get into trouble on the river, on a lake, or out recreating, I'm efficient enough now that I can get myself out of that situation. And my kids grow up doing rec center swim lessons, and that's just a basic life skill for them.
Yeah. Well, and it should be for everybody. And so I thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we get that out there. It's pretty inexpensive. There are ways, if you don't have the ability to do that, there are fee waivers and things. You need to come and talk to somebody
Right.
and make that happen. But we're pretty adamant, I think, about that. And Lance, you brought up a big part. You know, if you're 12 and 13 and you get invited to a swim party, that you can't really do it. Well, when you're 16, 17, 18 and all your friends are going rafting,
Yeah.
a lot of times it's hard to go, no, I'm afraid of the water. And so you go and then something happens and then it's a tragedy, and we don't need that. And
Yeah.
so
And I would say we see it a lot at Ross Park where kids don't know their ability.
Yeah.
So they can swim, they have a stroke, sort of, but what happens is they get out to the middle of the lily pads, they fall off, and they start swimming back but tire very quickly. They don't really realize, and that's when one of our lifeguards has to perform a rescue. And so, you know, it's very important in swim lessons that kids understand their swimming ability. Should they be in the deep end? Should they be, you know, above water, above their head, or should they be a shallow water swimmer? And so we spend a lot of time, you know, helping kids realize where they should be in water and how to be safe. And we've even got, we want to prevent drowning so much that we really loosened our life jacket policy at Ross Park 3 years ago, to where, you know, you had to have all these certain constraints to wear a life jacket. Now, I mean, we even rent the life jackets. So if your child can't swim, we'd rather see them in a life jacket at Ross Park than them in an area where they don't belong, and then we have to rescue them.
Exactly.
So, you know, when you're teaching lessons, you're kind of like, we want to say, stay away from life jackets. Let's teach them how to swim. But at the same time, as an aquatic facility, we want to embrace things like the Coast Guard approved swimming devices that will keep kids safe.
absolutely. All right. Thank you. What was your question? I forgot already.
Now, Stacy, tell us about some other things besides swimming.
Yeah, starting soon, actually Monday, and people can still register. We're gonna our dance program. We offer dance for, let's say, 2 to 18-year-olds, and it's about 300 participants per season. So it's a 16-week program where they get into a class: ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop.
Is that where
And-
you got your start?
Yeah,
being
his
the
move.
That's not where I got my moves. No,
isn't? Oh.
I didn't get them there because I still don't have any moves.
Well, you can join us.
Mayor Blad went to the Taihe School of Finesse.
Finesse.
Oh, is
That's
that
right.
Oh,
I did.
well, that sounds
Finishing
good.
Academy.
Are you still a reigning champion?
They had, I was not in the dance off this last year, and so there's a new champion, but I have not been dethroned because nobody
never
has
lost.
beaten me yet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good.
So that's it. But anyway, that's enough about me. The dancing programs at the rec center.
Once again, very affordable, $24 a month. And then they can, if they want to participate, we have a recital at the end where they get a costume, and can participate and show off their skills.
Their skills. Do they? How often do they meet on a weekly basis?
Our dance classes are once a week.
Once a week.
But what we see is some kids join multiple classes so
Sure.
that they can learn ballet and tap in one and jazz in another.
Yeah.
So, but we have a great coordinator, Heidi Palmer, and she has built this program, and it's an excellent program.
It's a big program. The wing, that wing of the rec center is dominated by dance moms,
dance moms.
every evening, weekdays. That's down next to the climbing wall, which is
Okay.
open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we have a lot of kids in dance, and then the sibling will pay the $5 or $3 and come use the climbing wall and take advantage of the full rec
That's a
center.
great climbing wall too. By the way, you're up, but then you can go out. It's challenging.
How about pickleball? What's going on with pickleball?
Pickleball is, it's the sport.
Surprisingly popular.
It's the sport to be playing now. And we have a couple non-regulation courts that we have in our racquetball courts that help people. It really is a great time just to come and experience it and not feel like you're in the pressure of having to show off all your skills to everyone. Where people can come and learn how to play pickleball. We do in the gym have lines down. It would be more of a regulation court. And so people can pay the daily fee, $3 to come in or $5 and bring their friends and family, and they can play. I know that there's some tournaments and things going on, and so it's a big thing here right now in Pocatello.
We started a couple years ago, and John here at Video Services and I had a pickleball thing, and if you remember right, a few years ago, I had to wear a top hat to the city council
I
meeting.
remember that. Yeah.
It was because I lost to John, who is a pretty darn good pickleball player here, and so I don't know if he's been back over there since, but if he walks on the court, everybody better step back. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
That pickleball is definitely an interesting, though. It's like a ping pong, life-size ping pong.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, the ball's a little slower than tennis, so
Yeah.
it lets you have a little longer rally, and if your speed's not what it once was, you can still make the play a lot of times. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. And we have other things at the rec center that some people may not know about. We have, in the racquetball court, we can also do volleyball. It's kind of the sport of the old day, but it's still really, really fun. So if there's a group of kids, 6 to 8 kids, just pay the daily fee, or if you have a membership, come on in and we can set up the volleyball, and it's like playing volleyball, but you can bounce the ball off the wall and keep it in play longer. And so we also have that, and I think a lot of people don't realize that we have that opportunity.
Yeah, probably not.
There's a lot of people that work out with weights and things. What have we got at the rec center?
We got a full gym. It kind of seems like people come in and they don't realize how big our gym actually is. But we have our free weights, we have our all of our cardio. We have ellipticals, bikes, and treadmills. And then we also have our station machines where you can go around and work every single muscle that you have. And if you haven't been to the rec center probably in the last 4 or 5 years, you need to come by, because not only have we updated equipment, but new paint and lighting. It looks like a completely different facility. And our memberships are hopping right now. And we don't have the contract fees because we're a city. We have our low membership fees, and we offer a great deal for your money. And right now, too, a lot of insurances are starting to benefit the people that they insure by offering memberships. So we do what's called Silver and Fit. Typically, that one benefits seniors. To go ahead and call your insurance company and find out if you qualify for Silver and Fit. If you do, it's $50 deductible a year, no other cost. And then the center gets reimbursed for their visits. So we as a center don't lose any money. We actually make some money on the deal over a senior membership. But now they're also expanding it, what they're calling active and fit, which is we're going to start to see probably more adults and families coming in on that. And once again, that one, the fee weight is a little different, so they have to call and find out what they would have to purchase. But once again, it's insurance companies are seeing the need of people needing to be active.
That's great. Well, one of the other things that I've been interested in is it seems like there's some family programs. Can you describe what a family might do in terms of utilizing our rec center?
Oh, there's a lot. They can come in. I mean, you can have dad doing one thing, mom doing another thing as well. I mean, you can have aerobic class going on for mom, weights for dads, while the kids are in public swim. So we do offer the public swim 3 times a week on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30 in the evening. Saturdays 1 to 4. Great family time. If you're not a member, come on over. You just pay the daily fee to get in. We can host birthday parties in our conference room, and then they can set up a little swim party for the pool. But yeah, families can come on over and play racquetball together. They can climb on the climbing wall, participate in like open gym type activities.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed since Stacy's taken over the rec center is she's kind of expanded the what other places would call the group fitness classes offerings. You know, it's not 80s aerobics 5 times a day anymore. It's yoga, Pilates, P90X, and then
We got our Zumbas,
chair
pound.
pound. I walked past chair pound today. Have you guys heard of pound?
No, tell me.
It's
Pound is a new program for fitness where you use drumsticks. And so you incorporate drumming in different ways. Well, our senior population has taken off, and they sit in a chair and they go through these routines.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So
and to hear the music, it's really good, great music, and then to hear them just...
It's like lime green. They're a little bit of a
Yeah.
heavy drumstick.
Yeah.
And it's these seniors sitting down. They've got another chair in front of them, and you know they're drumming away, and
They move their legs, move their arms. It's a
Yeah.
great just...
Really?
so the
Great.
the number of
better
offerings.
try
is
this.
pretty
Better give it a
surprising.
shot. We
Yeah,
should have
maybe
had
we-
you bring some
Samples here.
Chair pound.
chair pound equipment. I didn't even know we had chair. He said about 3 or 4 words. I don't think we're English in there, but
We also we do have even just a chair fun class where people who are either beginners, older, or have stability problems. These are great classes because you can use the chair for stability. And for the person who thinks that they might not be able to work out or is not comfortable with that, we have a whole lineup of programs. And it's really great because it can work on fall prevention and making your body more workable for yourself.
sure. That's amazing.
It's not the gym like you'd go to one of the brand name chain gyms where everybody's stacking on the weights and it's
Look at
it's a
themselves in the mirror
recreation
and how
yeah.
impressed they are with themselves. We
Themselves.
don't have to worry about that when we go to the rec
The
center.
selfie rate at the rec center is very low compared to national averages. When
Yeah.
you take a survey of the selfie users, everybody's there to recreate, and to do something enjoyable, to get in a little better shape, to increase independence for a senior, or keep their bone density right, and just do their thing to improve their lives. Not everybody's there to look a certain way or to, we all have our goals, of course, the standard 10 pounds that, or maybe 12, I don't know, whatever.
I thought that was just me that set that goal. I didn't.
But the rec center has a huge variety of ways to be active, and the whole Parks and Rec is run out of the rec center. So even if chair yoga is not your thing, there is rock
sports.
climbing, there team sports
Team
is based
sports,
out of
yeah.
there, outdoor rec is based out of there. You know, we do the shelter reservations, and we have a trail and hiking program, and we maintain the City Creek Trail system and the Nordic Center. All the rec center is the hub for all of the activities that Parks and Rec offers.
Sure.
Well, and I would like to point out, there's like a hidden gem, like gem as in G-E-M, gem.
Not
We
my
have,
gym.
no, we have the sauna, steam room, and eucalyptus area that kind of is hidden back behind the locker rooms that a lot of people don't know about. And so for adults 18 and older who just want to relax, the steam room is great. We have a new generator, a couple years old, that produces steam like nothing else. We have our dry sauna, which feels great. And then we have a eucalyptus menthol room that if you're like stuffed up at all, it will clear you out. So those are some great things just kind of hidden back that you wouldn't know that are there unless you're asking about it.
Yeah, I was back there for some maintenance the other day, and there was a member back there who has been there for 15 years, and she was like, "What's this room?" Well, that's the eucalyptus room. Well, what does that mean? Like, we'll just go in there and hang out, and there's some, kind of a menthol feel. It'll clear you up and drain you out.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, I'll give that a try. What's that room? Well, that one's steam.
Wow.
Well, I know what the sauna is, but I thought these two were something else.
Maintenance rooms or something,
yeah, right.
right?
Well, they are labeled, so I feel like that one's on you.
Well, it is definitely a great asset we have for our community, and so thank you for what you do there at the rec center. That's great. What's the address of the rec center? So those that don't know where it is.
It's 144 Wilson, kind of hidden because it faces the Wilson Street, but it's right off of Yellowstone and Gould, or Yellowstone and Oak, as some people would refer. We just sit one block back off of Yellowstone, and come on over and check us out. If you haven't been there for a long time, it's different. So
What are
come on
your
over.
hours?
Monday through Friday, we're open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Saturdays 9 to 5, and Sundays we are now open year-round on Sundays from 1 to 5.
Oh, wow.
I was there this Sunday, and it was, I wouldn't say it was packed, but there was probably
busy.
15 people in the pool doing their thing,
good.
and lap swimmers, and a couple big families, and
Well, nothing wrong with that. That's
Right?
good.
So we
Well,
keep
good.
them busy, and this
Yeah.
weather, I mean, it's great.
Good. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit, if we can, about spring. I know that Lance, the fun runs, you're the absolute
fun runs are coming.
best host for fun runs anywhere in this
By
side of the
far.
world, for sure. So,
Yeah, the first fun run is the first Saturday in May. Has been that way for 39 years. And we kick off with the Law Day Run. We offer 3 distances, 2.5K, 5K, and 10K. So about 1.5 miles, 3 miles, 6 miles. For the past, how long the Mayor Division been around? 3 or 4 years?
about 3 years, I think we
Yeah.
started it.
So if you're a younger kid, or if you have younger kids and they're interested in doing the fun runs, but you're like, I don't want to pay $13 for my kid to go run 1.5 miles, if you're not really interested in results, as in timing, you don't want to know that your time was 23.6 seconds. If you just want to experience the activity, the mayor hosts his own division. You can go hop into the mayor's division for $0. You can show up as a kid, run 1.5 miles with the mayor at any of the fun runs. We'll go ahead and feed you afterwards. We always spread the food far and wide. And you can have the kind of the entry-level fun run experience at any of our races. We host a fun run, 5 of them, starting in May, 1 a month. Each one has a great sponsor, from Simplot to Portneuf Medical Center and the Total Joint Center, Quinn Meadows, the 6th District Bar Association, and Intermountain Medical Center have all hosted our events. The courses move around each month, of course, and it's a good party. You come out and run for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe 50 or 60 minutes, depending on who you are.
Depending.
You can run or walk, and we actually separate those divisions. And our walking divisions are actually pretty good sized. And people, some of them are race walkers who come out and put their head down and get very serious about their form. And there's other people who show up with a group of 5 or 6 friends and go for a stroll. We take everybody. You get a electronic timing chip. We track you throughout the year and give people the opportunity to get points at each race and potentially win their series. But you only have to win your tiny slice of the pie. So you could be at age 30 to 34 female in 5K walk. And if you show up to 4 out of 5 races, that's a very narrow slice of the pie.
That's right.
So there's a pretty good chance that you could take home the series. There's definitely some competitive divisions.
Yes, there are.
The 35 to 39 and 40 to 44-year-old 5K female runners. There's a lot of those.
Pretty serious runners is what they are.
Pocatello has some good athletes. But that's, we're happy to have those athletes, but our focus is definitely just getting people outside and moving.
Right.
What's really neat about it is Lance has been able to help those fun runs grow in numbers.
Yes.
And you every month you'll have 500, 600, 700 people at these races. And when Lance says, if you want to come and it's a little party and stuff, it is a great party. We have people coming from the Salt Lake Valley, coming from Wyoming, coming from as far as Boise to run in these fun runs because it's such a great atmosphere. It's not necessary. You can be as competitive as you want, but you don't have to be.
Sure.
And so you've got those competitive racers that they'll get up in the front of the line with the other 10 or 12-year-old kids that think they're going to sprint the whole thing, and you can.
I love those kids.
I do too. I love it. But they race and they run, and you have some people running the 5K in 15, 16 minutes, and you have some walking it in, like Lance said, 50 or 60 minutes. It's just a great atmosphere. And then Lance, because of our sponsors, and they've been very generous, and they're great sponsors. They have a drawing. You don't win, all right, Jim Johnston, first place, and you go get your trophy for first place. You win at the drawings.
Really?
It's random. Yeah, you could set the 5K world record, and I will give you a high five. Yeah. But the prizes are given out randomly.
Right. They're random prizes, and it's great to watch their people's names get called, and the families hoot and holler because they had their name called and stuff like that. And Lance isn't afraid to make fun of you a little bit too if you're not doing what you're supposed to. And
it's part of the process.
It's great, but Lance isn't afraid of making fun of himself either. And so it is. It's a great time once a month. That Saturday, and I'll tell you, my kids, my wife, when's the fun run? When is the fun run? And we schedule our week or our month around when that fun run is. So
my life is scheduled around the fun run.
That's right.
So what would a typical meal be after a fun run?
So it depends a lot on the sponsor. So the lawyers in May buy 1,000 donuts.
Oh.
And we do.
They are great donuts.
Yeah, we buy really good donuts, and we do donuts and
juice.
Yeah, there's always juices
Fruits.
and tons of fruit. There's always apples, bananas, and oranges and stuff like that. When the medical centers are the sponsors, we tend to go a little healthier. We lean towards
granola bars and things.
Muffins.
Nobody's mentioned hot dogs yet.
Yeah. We do a lot of muffins, and Andrea on my staff is kind of the food guru, and I don't touch the food most of the time. She
does a great job.
Buys it, has her core of volunteers that prep it, and they all know what they're doing and wear their gloves and keep it full and keep the garbage emptied. I mean, they are, like the mayor said, they're big. We've had them as big as 980 people. We're pushing, with spectators and tag-alongs. We'll feed 1,200 people sometimes, and it's one person's job to empty garbages. There's 8 or 10 garbage barrels out. and they just walk barrel to barrel and empty garbages. It's a lot of food, it's a lot of people, and
good community involvement, it sounds like.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
If
They
I
are
was
a lot
ever
of
to
fun.
run for elective office, I would try and show up at the fun runs because there's a lot of faces.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
exactly right. That is
Good advice.
true. That is true. It's a lot of fun. Lance lets me shoot the starting 12 gauge shotgun off.
Really? Wow.
Well, it is Idaho. There's no,
yeah.
It's not a cap gun, I know that.
it's not a cap gun.
But obviously, when the sponsors want to do that, they shoot the gun off. But boy, it sure is fun to do that. And Lance just gets people involved. I've been to a lot of fun runs in my life, and they don't get better than what we've got right here. So
Yeah, the prices are extremely reasonable. Adults
Yeah.
are, $17, $18. Kids are $13 or $14. If you buy all 5 at one time, you get $10 off. So that's your kind of your season pass, so to speak. So you can be in there for $85 and have 5 months worth of activities to look for. It's usually a shirt, sometimes
Yeah.
something else like
Yeah.
a nice water bottle or something. But typically a nice microfiber shirt from the sponsor, and the prize piles can be, $2,000, $5,000, $8,000 in the prize piles.
Wow.
They're for instance, the hospital and the Total Joint Center, those doctors will each donate a few $1,000s. The hospital will buy the shirts, and they'll spend $8,000, $9,000, $10,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the doctors will each pitch in $2,000, $3,000 to the prize pile, and we go to Barry's, and he multiplies that by giving us, a bulk discount that's pretty healthy.
it's good. Yeah.
And we'll give away a road bike, 2 mountain bikes, 2 kids'
Wow.
bikes, longboards, GoPro cameras, iPads, iPods. I mean, it's
a good.
if somebody got wise and knocked off our prize van one of these days, it would.
That's right.
They'd be well into Grand
They would
Theft.
have well into that, and they'd have 600 to 900 people really, really mad at them.
Yeah, and they're pretty fast people too.
They
so
are.
You'd have to move pretty good.
You would, but it is a great time and good stuff. They at the very last fun run, they have a great big full-born breakfast. Full-bore breakfast. It's
Pancakes and sausage and hash browns.
It's the works, and that's quite the.
Fortunately, the mayor is a cast iron connoisseur and owns some large grills. And over the years, fortunately, we've been able to buy about a grill every year and borrow fewer of your things, I think. But he'll be out there with the spatula, and he could turn out a mean pancake.
I've heard he's a champion in that area too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Kiwanis champion there. It's great. It's a great time.
What we started pushing last year at the fun runs is we have a new obstacle race in the fall called Thor. And it's a 10K mountain obstacle race. It's probably the next level of hardcore above fun run. And we bring our obstacles to the fun runs
There's
partly
gotta
because
be,
it's new.
There has to be a level from fun run somewhere in there, and then Thor,
Okay.
because the next level. I mean, that's
intense.
a big. Yeah, that's intense.
It's a big jump up, but since it's a newer race and we have these obstacles that we've basically, invented out of thin air, and we don't know how they're going to hold up or how people are going to be able to do them, because my staff is generally a pretty fit, hardcore group of people. So if my staff tests it, we may have Andrea go out to the climbing wall, and
She's up over it like
that's
nothing.
too easy.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to have a hard time with this. So we release those to the general public over time at the fun runs and use them as our crash test dummies. And I was pretty
great.
impressed by the mayor last year at I think it was Law Day Run. We brought out our climbing walls.
That's right.
And we had 3 different sizes to see what was going to work and not work, and whether they had the right holds. And the mayor went charging at the tallest one at about It was top speed. I don't know
It
how many
was
miles
top
an hour
speed.
it was.
It's like, it's pretty slow anymore, but it was top speed, I'll tell you.
And he, you know, you had to kind of run and bounce off of it and grab the top bar, and
Pull
the
yourself
wall
up.
shook pretty good, but it held, and
Yeah, it did. It was.
he
it
was up and over it.
So we know a solid mass can hit that wall and roll over the top of it if it happens.
Sounds like a lot of entertainment takes place
it's
here for
great.
the spectators.
Absolutely. If you're bored one Saturday and you don't want to walk or run, but you want to be entertained, come down to those
We'll hang out with you.
fun runs. They are fun.
And if you're injured, if you don't want to walk or run, it takes a massive number of volunteers to put on the fun runs. If money's an issue, and you know the fee waiver program takes a little while, you come volunteer at one of our runs and get a free entry for the next one or any future run. So people come and volunteer on Friday, then race for free on Saturday all the time. So you know, volunteers get fed, they get a shirt, they get an entry.
Great.
We'll take good care of our volunteers because we need a lot of them. We put on an event for 1,000 people
It
with
is.
5 paid staff members.
Oh,
You've got to have some volunteers.
We lean heavily on our volunteers.
sure.
so that's good.
Sure. Well, we've talked a lot about fun runs, and there's a lot more we could talk about. Lance started a few years ago, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, a Just 'Cause half marathon. He and a couple people needed to run a half marathon, and so they decided to make it an event. And so
Right.
there are fun runs and running activities all the way through the summer up through into the fall, late fall. And so it's really exciting there. But I know you do more than just fun runs, Lance. You've got rafting. You talked about a rafting trip.
We do a raft trip on the Payette River for whitewater, and we do a scenic float on the Snake River in the fall. We do backpacking trips into the Tetons and central Idaho.
That's right. You said something about if you want to do a backpacking trip this summer, you probably should start now, getting ready.
And you know, so last year we took, it was a pretty big group. I think we had about 16 people going to the Tetons with us, and there were those among the group who had trained and put some weight in their packs and gone out throughout the year and built up to it. And there were a few people who hopped on 2 days before and said, "I want to give it a go." And the amount they enjoyed the trip was proportionate to the effort expended to get there. And everybody enjoyed it. They're beautiful trips. It's really, our Teton trips is the highlight reel of the Tetons backcountry. We go with peak flowers, peak weather. We know all the best camping spots. We stop and swim in a lake one day, and they're beautiful trips that require a certain amount of fitness, but there's no reason you can't make it happen.
Make it happen.
Right.
If you can walk, you can get there to making it happen.
It's definitely neat. So hiking and backpacking and
We have mountain bike classes.
mountain bike classes.
We just built 2 new disc golf courses at the Nordic Center, so that facility can see some more summer use. Those were all grant funded through the Sunrise Lions Club. Gave us a big check, and then the Portneuf Healthcare Foundation finished us off there. So through over $15,000 in donations and grant money, we were able to build 36 more holes of disc golf up there, and those are, again, world-class disc golf courses. We've already got some tournaments on the schedule for next year, and there's something called the Pro Tour, for disc golf, and they're looking at our facility for an event next year in 2 years because it's that good. So
That's
wonderful.
incredible that we've got those.
if you want to do an activity, the rec center, the Parks and Recreation as a whole, between Ross Park Aquatics Complex, the rec center, outdoor rec, team sports, the
All kinds of
zoo,
things.
participate, volunteer, put your kids in them. We cover it.
Really, truly, if you're bored and you have nothing to do, it's because you've really worked hard to be bored and find nothing to do.
It's
out
your
there,
own fault
because
at that
it
point,
is,
yeah.
because there are so many activities and so many opportunities to do things that it's great. And really, a lot of it's because of these two sitting with us right now. And so it's incredible to have this kind of partnership and
Right.
teamwork within the city. And we could have Brian sitting here with us with team sports, which is going right now, and softball I know is going to start soon.
Right.
They've had volleyball and basketball.
Jazz basketball about to start up.
And jazz basketball is about to start up, so baseball.
Yeah, they're a year-round operation. They don't have
The team sports.
an off season.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll play indoor volleyball, basketball, all that. As soon as the weather's good, they're off to softball and all the ball sports.
And then football, and it's incredible to see what we have to offer. And
Well, it should help our community be much healthier with all the participation.
That's the goal. We just want people to be outside. The council and mayor has kind of guided us to, set our fees at a point that we can cover the instructors and replace our equipment periodically.
Right.
We're not rolling in the money like a for-profit organization would be, because we want to have the most people we can participate without going broke.
Sounds good.
that's what
And-
we shoot for.
Yeah.
Sponsors and volunteers, we do okay.
I wanted to
Yeah.
give a little preview, if we got a few minutes, about water walking.
Let's do it.
We did it last year for the first time, kind of unannounced. We go at Ross Park, so once Ross Park opens, we take the lazy river and we open it. We opened it 3 days a week at 10 o'clock, and we people just got in the water and walked. And so to get in shape, they walk against the current, and
You've taken the lazy river and made it not a lazy river
I know,
anymore.
right? But only 1 hour. But to get in shape, and the people that were coming loved the joints. It was easier on their joints. So this summer we're going full board, 5 days a week, 2 nights a week.
5 days a week, 2
5
nights.
days, yeah, 5 days in the morning, 10 to 11. And it's going to be 2 nights a week on Tuesday, Thursday at 7.
At 7 o'clock. So is there a cost to that?
Yeah, we'll have a daily fee, a punch card, and then of course if you buy a Ross Park pass, it's included.
Perfect.
So.
Well, thank you very much. Believe it or not, we didn't think we'd burn an hour, but we have
Wow.
been here an hour. And so thank you for your time. Thank you very much for everything that you do for the city and for the people involved in your activities and stuff. And I will tell you, if you are bored, it's your own fault. You just haven't done, because of these two right here give us too many opportunities to
Terrific.
enjoy it. So
Yeah,
thank you
awesome.
very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.